Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Dungeons & Dragons adventure. My name is Chris Perkins. I will be your Dungeon Master for today. Now, I know there are a lot of people watching who have never played Dungeons & Dragons before, so I'm going to try to help you understand what the game's about before introducing the players. It's very simple. D&D is a game about collaborative storytelling, and my job as the Dungeon Master is to help keep the story moving forward. But the spotlight is really on the heroes of an adventuring party, and those heroes are played by my fantastic cast of players, many of whom are experiencing D&D for the first time. So, without further ado, here we are. This is our group for today.
Hi.
And
Hello.
The idea behind the game is that everybody's got a character, and the idea is to bring that character to life, watch them make choices and decisions as strange situations come up, and then we use dice to determine how successful they are at accomplishing certain tasks. And sometimes the dice are very kind, and sometimes the dice are very, very mean, and things don't go as expected. But without further ado, I'd like each of you to take some time out to introduce your characters that you'll be playing today, starting with David.
Hello. Today, my character is a third-level sorcerer, and his name is Kenny Kaboom. He's also known by some aliases, Johnny Flamethrower, Johnny Sparks, Johnny Fire, Crackling Coals Johnny, and also Larry Lava. But he generally goes now by Kenny Kaboom. Basically, I guess what I get from sorcerers are these guys that are born with magical powers. They don't really study them. So he's someone who, he doesn't really know much about his upbringing, but he knows that when he hit puberty around 13, he was in a prep school, and he started to experience all these strange feelings coupled with the hormones of puberty, and it started to manifest in these very fiery powers that were at once about the manipulation of fire and also about the manipulation of people. So that's very connected to who he is, that time in his life, and is very connected to his magic. And so he sort of, floundered through life for a while, like, being a con man and doing all these things. And now he's feeling like a greater call to action to help people. But he's very dumb. His intelligence and wisdom scores are extremely low, but his charisma is very, very high. So he's just charming as hell. But one of the interesting little things about him is that when he needs to cast a really powerful spell, well, first of all, he's constantly casting minor illusion his whole life. He walks around casting minor illusion. So have his concentration split with that because he wants to seem like he's the perfect guy. And then when he drops that, you realize that he's got these like potched, horrible acne scars. He's kind of overweight. He's got this, really bad looking garb on, and he's really kind of pathetic. But he casts minor illusion. He looks like this amazing, charismatic dude. So what happens is when he wants to cast a really powerful spell, he needs to feel the humiliation of puberty to be able to cast that spell very powerfully. So he needs people that he loves and cares about to humiliate him and hurt him emotionally while he casts this spell, and it will make his spell more powerful. So sometimes during combat that will happen where he'll say something like drop the act or something, and he'll drop this minor illusion spell, and he'll just be his pimply, scarred, pathetic self. Hopefully his teammates will yell derision at him, and he will therefore cast his rage at the monster.
Wow.
So that's the general tenor.
That's complex.
Kenny,
that's complex.
Kenny
Puberty
and his,
power.
Yeah. Living in his own reality. Brandon, tell us about your character.
Oh, great. Well, my character's name is Paelinor, and he is a level 3 paladin of the Ancient Oath. He's taken the Oath of the Ancients, and he is an Azamar. So having somewhat celestial, spiritual birth and nature, it's a little bit unknown to him. He has recollection of being one with the universe and kind of that sense of connectedness that he carries with him, but his birth is kind of shrouded, and even his age up until the age of 5 is a little bit unknown. His experience, he kind of just emerged into the world in kind of among the common folk, and so he kind of understands, has an interesting understanding about the world and the connectedness of everything, but confused by his past. Where does he fit in? But he feels very much human, as much as he does feel that spiritual and celestial connection. And he became a folk hero in his local town, and has moved on and on, kind of in search of helping people, protecting people, but also spreading his feelings and knowledge about the world, and kind of the world from a bird's eye view. What else can I tell you?
So you don't. Your guy doesn't.
He can play the lute, and because he has this kind of connection and disconnection from some aspects of humanity, he is always wanting to lighten the mood. Or often wanting to lighten the mood, but he lacks a certain understanding of what is funny sometimes. So when he does attempt to tell a joke, it doesn't always hit, much like my own life.
Aww.
Oh, and unlike typical paladin, you don't have a god or deity that you follow. You just embrace this idea of the multiverse as a force.
Embrace the universe as a whole. Yeah, there is no one entity. There was no one god or one being.
Yeah. Karen, let's talk a little bit about your character.
Hello. So my name is Malvery, pronounced Malvery, and I am Dragonborn, and my background is folk hero, if that makes sense. And I am part dragon, but I have been tasked with capturing dragons to put them in dungeons. And I love my job. It's really satisfying to me. I think that I secretly don't like the dragon part of myself. I'm like, no, don't be a dragon. Dragons are bad and for jail. And then I'm just adding this right now. I have a phobia of fire, and so I can breathe fire, but whenever I do it, I'm also screaming in terror. So when capturing dragons is quite hard for me because I can breathe fire and it's scary, but also I've been working really hard with my trainer on the overriding mechanism of my brain so that I can overcome that fear and just plow on through and get the dragons and put them into the dungeon. Really good at telling jokes as well, so I'll make up for the other two so far.
So as a dragonborn who breathes fire, have you ever set fire to your bedroll accidentally, when you're sleeping at night and stuff like that? Does that contribute to your fear or
to my bedroll?
Yeah, when you sleep in a
What bedroll?
A bedroll's like a sleeping bag.
Oh, I see. A sleeping bag. Yeah, I've set fire to that. I've set fire to myself, other people, people invited into my bedroll, but let's not get into that.
And last but not least, Pom, tell us about your character.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm a tiefling, and I'm a druid too, and so my skin is marine blue. I have one yellow eye and one green eye, and I have horns, and I have dark purple hair. I'm pretty big and tough, but I don't really have to use my strength that much, and I'm not like super strong, but I'm still okay. But I have a magical power. I'm really good at communicating with animals. And also, I have an animal that is always with me. That is a mammoth. I think it's how you pronounce it. It's a little bit woolly, hairy, because, I live in the cold. So, it's good for this animal to be like that. And I ride him sometimes, but sometimes his back hurts, so I can't ride him. But he's a baby, so I don't know why his back hurts, because he's kind of young, it kind of sucks. But he's very sweet. I have two weapons, a scimitar and a dagger. And I play music too. I have a lyre, so sometimes I sing songs in French. I just can sing in French, but I can't speak French. And that's it.
Fantastic.
What else? No.
that's
And
good.
also, I'm an orphan, and I've been through a lot in my life when I was little. So I have big trust issues. So, for example, when I have to sleep, I always have my bag with my gems and my money in it, like really close to me, and I hide it. And I barely trust anyone, but like people that I decide to trust, I would fight for them. So that's it.
Yeah. Awesome. And your baby mammoth, does it have a name?
Yes.
What is it?
Gilly.
D?
Gilly. Gilly.
Deely.
Deely.
Deely. I love it. Deely.
Lulu.
Awesome.
have to say it that many times, or
All right. So you are a party of adventurers who have been together for some time, and you are currently in a place called Icewind Dale, which is a frozen frontier separated by towering mountains from the rest of the lands that you know. And it's hemmed in also by titanic glaciers and a sea of crashing icebergs. So it is cut off, and it is dark and very, very, very cold. And you are traveling together through a town, one of 10 small settlements that are scattered around Icewind Dale that eke out this harsh living. They're like flickering candle lights of civilization that could be snuffed out at any time by monsters or the cruel, inhuman nature of winter itself. But here you are, bundled up against the cold, wearing your heavy furs and your gloves and your thick, furry boots, and you're trudging through town to get to a warm tavern to have a drink and to relax. And maybe you were out searching for dragons, because that's what Malvery is really interested in. Maybe you're chasing a rumor of adventure and hoping to find some clue at the tavern as to what to do next. But before you get there, you see, all of you, a shape come darting out of the white blowing snow, running right at you. And this shape, as it gets closer, looks like a sled dog or husky. It's running right for you, and you notice it's dragging something behind it. What do you do?
Oh my god.
So it's coming towards us.
I'm really
right
good
now.
with animals, so I should do something, right?
Yeah. Speak to the thing.
I can speak to the animal because I can communicate verbally with animals for up to 10 minutes.
Yes, that's a spell that you...
That gives us enough
that is-
time to find out what the husky is dragging.
Yeah, as it's running... Yeah, sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, as it's running toward you and you're casting your Speak with Animals spell, you can see, the rest of you can see that it's dragging a torn leather harness behind it, like it was maybe tied to a sleigh, but somehow ripped itself free and took part of the harness with it. And when you cast the
so we've got
spell
a
and the
stray
dog...
husky.
Exactly, and it runs right up to Melancholia and basically puts its big paws up on her chest and starts licking your face.
That's cute. I want to pet him. What should I do?
All right.
I don't know.
And then it starts...
Roll for petting.
I've been in quarantine for so long. I'm just gonna hug the animal. I don't know.
Yes. As you hug the animal and it's licking you, it begins to bark. And because you cast your spell, it doesn't sound like barking to you. It sounds like the dog is actually trying to communicate something. And you can see that it is very urgently trying to tell you that its owner is in trouble.
Can you ask it to leave?
Hey, Melancholia, you wanna? What's up? What's up with the puppy?
Yeah, who's its owner?
What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
So what do you say? What do you say to the dog when it's telling you in its barks that its owner is in trouble? What do you ask it anything?
Yeah. Who is your owner?
The dog tells you that its owner's name is Garrett. And Garrett is a mountaineer who went up the nearby mountain, leading a group of explorers up there to find the answers to some sort of mystery. But then they were attacked.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to go and help them.
Oh man, really?
I mean, do we?
I was kind of looking forward to that tavern.
Yeah. They were
Well,
going,
we can get drinks after.
yeah, they were going up
We're
the
gonna
mountain.
stop everything and run into the cold mountains. Oh man, you and the dogs,
Oh, man.
you and the animal
We are a
talking.
group.
Always
I
with
just
the
want to ask
animal
my friends
talking.
what they want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to build a sled and be dragged by the husky to its owner, because it can show us where the owner is, and I could use my fire breathing as like a rocket to speed us up.
Whoa. It seems like so much
Am I
work.
playing this right?
There's no wrong way to play D&D.
It's a rocket sled.
Yeah.
Wow,
but
you wanna make a
it's-
rocket sled.
I'm just like wondering, is the dog hungry? Maybe I can give him some food, and maybe we can just like take a break, like chat about what we're gonna do next. Maybe have a beer or something in the tavern, as Kenny Kaboom said. You know, just we're a group. We have to just like talk together and see, you know, what's going on, and if we should like help these people or like maybe not.
Yeah,
Right?
you give the dog a bit of food, it devours it. It's really, really hungry, like it's come a long distance and hasn't been fed in a while. And then it begins to circle you and whimper, and it just sort of waits. Like it can understand the conversation you're having with your friends right now, and it seems perfectly cool with just waiting to see what you do next.
This all points to
I mean,
one
it's hard
thing,
to
guys.
deny
It's the
an
rocket
adorable
sled.
ice. Yeah, it's hard to deny an adorable ice puppy. So I feel like
Yeah.
maybe we should rocket sled up on that mountain.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it, guys.
Okay, so
Alright,
I'm
let's
just
go
if
follow this
everyone
weird
boards the
animal.
sled, I'll do
So-
the breathing, but like it's gonna be scary.
So you can do one of two things. You can either try to build a sled yourself, which you know will take some time, or you do know that you can basically procure a sled from someone who has one in the town already, or you could steal a sled if you're of that particular mentality.
Do we know this? Have we been to this town before, or this is sort of a new place?
Yeah, you've been to this town before. You're familiar with the tavern. It's called the Blue Clam. You know that the people here are mostly fishers and scrimshanders, people who work in scrimshaw.
In what?
Well, I'm sort of a local
yeah, which is-
celebrity in the Blue Clam. I mean, everybody loves Kenny. So I feel like, why don't we just head to the Clam? I'll see if I can find that dwarf, that boat building dwarf, and see if he's got any, you know, any sleds available. Let's just drag that little puppy along with us. Would you take care of that for us, Melancholia? And we'll go see my buddy at the Clam. All right.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
All right,
does
so
anyone
we-
need to ride my mammoth? You know, like someone can ride my mammoth if you want.
I think we're close enough. I'll walk. I'd rather walk.
Okay.
I need the
I
extra.
enjoy stretching.
Okay,
I just want to stretch my leg. Thank you for the offer of the mammoth. That's cool. It's really lovely, but I'm good. I need to turn.
All right, so you trudge to the snow, to the blue clam. You tie your mammoth off at a post just outside the door.
How many ropes does it take?
Oh, it's probably got a couple thick ropes to hold this thing there.
Yeah,
But
but
your
you
mammoth-
know what? He's pretty lazy, so usually he doesn't run away. You know, he's just waiting for you to feed him. You know. And by the way, don't feed him too much because it makes him sleepy.
When you walk into the
I
blue
don't have
clam,
a
you
bottle of vitamins. I have to go and grab it, and I'm so sorry.
Okay.
She's like
No
gonna
worries.
eat them, like vitamin
Real
B.
life quest.
Okay.
yes,
You've got real life animal problems.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when you
Wants to
enter
get
the
in
blue,
on it.
Come here. Hi.
my dog is just sleeping in a bed next to me. So when
I
you
can
walk
still hear
into
you
the
guys.
tavern, when you walk into the tavern, you see that the blue clam has all of these benches along tables, and it's got a big flaming hearth at one end. The place is very, very warm, and you could smell spiced chowder being passed around in bowls. There's a man behind a bar he looks human, but he's got tusks coming out of his lower jaw, and you know him as Vernon. He kind of runs the show, runs the place. He's a very lovely man. There are a number of fishers gathered around. You can smell the stench of fish clinging to them. And there's no objection, by the way, when the dog kind of follows you in.
So Vernon's the guy. He runs this place. He's like a walrus guy, sort of.
You've never probably asked him what his origins are, but he basically looks like a man who's just got sort of tusks coming out of his lower jaw, and he's very friendly.
Okay, I'm gonna go right up to him. And be like, "Hey, Vernon,
Yeah.
nothing like blue clam chowder. Smell it in the air, man. It smells delicious. Tonight's batch smells particularly good. What do you put in it, Vernon? What do you put in it?"
My magical spice recipes are mine, and my mother's alone. I don't share that stuff.
All right. Sounds a little creepy when you say it that way, Vernon, but that's cool. I won't ask you any more about that. Listen, let me get straight to the point, Vernon. I got.
You
some
got a very
problems
purty
with
mouth.
this. Vernon, stop. I'm blushing. Listen, Vernon, listen. Vernon, you know the little the demon girl over there, the sweet demon girl with the carries around the big hairy elephant. You know that girl?
Yeah.
She met this
What the fuck,
dog
sweet? I'm 6
tonight
feet.
that
I'm 6 feet tall.
I'm whispering to Vernon. Vernon, she met this dog tonight, and she's just, she's really fallen for it, and we're gonna.
That dog there.
She wants to take it out for some sled ride or something. Do you have any sleds in the back? We could just grab one. Is that all right?
That's Garrett's dog. That's Garrett's dog, Boy.
What? You know this dog?
Yeah, local dog named Boy. Belongs to Garrett.
Called
He's
Boy?
a mountaineer. I didn't
Garrett's
choose
not
the
very
name.
imaginative, is he? It's a female dog, though. That's weird. Garrett's such a jerk. It's Garrett's dog. Garrett went out to the mountain, did he? Did he go
Yeah,
out
he
to
took
the mountain?
some-
What happened to Garrett?
He went up the mountain with some explorers who were looking for a white dragon. They're dragon
A
hunting.
white dragon.
They're dragon
Oh my
hunting?
god.
Maybe I know
Mother, do
them.
you know anything about the dragons?
Well, I know that white dragons like to live on mountains. Haven't seen any big ones around here, though.
White
Were
dragon.
these strangers
you
that
say?
he took up?
Yeah, there were some strangers that came through. They wanted to hunt a dragon, mount its head, some sort of trophy. They didn't seem to know what they were doing, but they got a pretty good
Well-
guide in Garrett.
They clearly don't have a license.
A license?
Sounds like
Nobody
Garrett's
has a
just
license
like
here.
needs the money.
People in Icewind Dale,
you
they do
guys-
what they want.
Oh, I don't like the sound of this,
all
guys,
this.
but I do like the sound of a white dragon head for my personal collection.
That's like heroin to Malvery over there. You just said the magic
Yeah.
word, white dragon. Wow.
White
Oh,
dragon
should I
head.
be talking a little? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that so loud.
Yeah, I guess everybody
this is
heard
gonna
it,
be a good
Vernon.
trip.
Jeez. Try to have a private
As
conversation
always, I
with
think we
Vernon.
need to make sure that this dragon deserves death before we just go after it. Who knows if it's a peaceful dragon or if it's a dragon that is actually causing trouble.
No dragons are peaceful.
Have you had issues with this dragon lately?
Vernon just shakes his head. No dragons. No dragon problems.
Pale, have you met like cool dragons that are just kind of cool, or like dragons are always sort of vicious, horrible beasts in your experience? No.
Well, I have very good friends who are dragonborn, and though they are much more tame and much more human in quality, they share bloodlines and ancestry with all dragons.
Well, all right.
Therefore,
I guess we got to get to know each other better, Pale. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Let's
Sorry.
not judge
Sorry
until we know.
I don't buy it. I hate those dragons when they should be in the dungeon where they belong.
Mallory is starting to scare some of the fishers. Some of the fishers are looking at Mallory very frightened now.
Yeah, can you keep
Sorry,
it down?
I found a beer about 5 minutes ago. I'm drunk. I got drunk. Screw the dragons.
Yeah, and can we sing karaoke in this bar, or like what's going on? What do we do next? Can we just know?
Oh my god!
When Mallory shouts,
I would do karaoke.
So what did you shout? What did you shout there, Mallory? You said, kill the dragons. Is that right?
I regret the phrasing I used. I said screw the dragons, but I meant it in a way of like get those away from us.
When you do that, though, a bunch of fishermen hold up their flagons and flasks and say the same thing: "Screw the dragons! Screw the dragons!
Screw the dragons!
Screw the dragons!" And then they go back to drinking.
Whoa.
Could we try shouting something else and see if they'll respond?
What are you gonna shout, Pale?
Shout a bad joke or something. Come on, let's hear one of those bad
this is the
jokes.
perfect time for a bad joke.
Dragons are the best. Oh, Pale.
Ah, that was a good joke.
All you can hear is the sound of the fire crackling in the hearth.
I guess we know where we stand. Dragons.
All right, look, I'm really excited about all the attention we got when we said we would kill the dragons. I really like that kind of focus and attention on us. So why don't we head up that mountain? I'd like to see if we can, get a little more of that juice, that fame juice. What do you say, guys? Should we just head up that mountain? I'm sure we can grab a sled out back. Vernon's like, he's drunk. He's not even paying attention. We'll grab a sled. We'll do your fire-breathing up the mountain rocket ship trip and head up there and see what's up. All right.
Let's slay that dragon.
One question for Vernon before we depart. Vernon, I was just curious: is Garrett a trustworthy citizen? Area, or is he trusted?
Oh yeah, everybody likes Garrett. Everybody likes Garrett a lot.
Thank you.
Be a shame if something happened to him.
What? Oh yeah.
Because never leaves his side.
That is curious.
Let's build this
Yeah, I
ledge.
feel like that does not bode well for Garrett. But let's get up there and see what happened.
Okay. You find a shed out behind the Blue Clam, and tucked away in there is a sled that you can commandeer. Now, the sled is normally designed to hold about 4 to 6 sled dogs. If you want a strap boy in front of it, that's fine. He can pull the sled as long as it's not too burdened. Now, your mammoth.
We
on
can
the other
add
hand,
mammoth. Yeah.
I was gonna say we have a.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. That will require a little bit of creative leather fitting. You need to get a rig to fit the mammoth. So it takes you about maybe a half an hour to adjust some leather straps around the mammoth and fasten it to the sled. And then I would like you, Pom, for your character, Melancholia, to make a roll for me. This will be the first roll of the game. I want you to take your D20, your 20-sided die.
This one.
That's the one. And I would like you to make an animal handling check. Now, what that means is on your character, and I'm just going to very quickly go to your character so I can see what you see. Where are you? There you are. You've got a set of skills in a long box on your character sheet. Like there's acrobatics, and then the next one down is animal handling. And you've got a +4 to your animal handling skill, which means you get to roll the D20 and add 4 to it. And when you do, tell me what you get.
Okay. 3 plus 4,
So-
right?
3 plus 4 is 7. Now,
Yes.
D&D is a game where it's always great to roll high. Rolling high.
Good.
High numbers is success. Low numbers, not so great. A 7 is a pretty low number on a D20 roll. So your mammoth, after being strapped in, just kind of looks at the harness with great distaste and just stands there.
Could I
What do
also,
what do
even
mammoths
though I've
what do
got
mammoths
a
eat?
new-
What do mammoths
I
eat,
think,
Wikipedia?
I want
do they
to
eat?
cast.
I'm gonna, I don't know. They eat koala bears, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, all right. Let's take whatever. I guess I'm casting it.
He eats avocados. It's really annoying because it's kind of hard to
Avocados.
find.
Okay.
and it's-
Avocados
They're
is
hard to
really
find up here in
fuel
Icewind Dale.
for him.
Right?
Yeah, they don't ripen very easily.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna
Pale,
create.
you,
Can I cast? Can I cast minor illusion and just see if I can create in the distance a huge avocado bush, just overflowing with avocados, but continually recedes as he progresses towards it.
all right,
Yes,
and Pale.
like a fishing line, you know? You're like, woo! And
Yeah,
he's like looking
it's a
for the
literal carrot
avocado.
on a stick. It's an avocado on a stick.
Yes.
Awesome. And Pale, did you want to try something? You had mentioned. You wanted to do
Yes,
something.
I too have, even though I'm not the owner of our lovely woolly mammoth, I have fairly good animal handling abilities due to my oath of ancients.
Yep.
So if it's possible, I could also roll too.
Go ahead and give it a roll. Add your animal handling bonus to
So
your
just
D20 roll.
+3.
Okay.
Well, mine's not great either, but it is it's a 6 plus 3, so it's 9.
Okay.
Can't even.
So
Wow, leave it to me again, guys.
yeah.
Is that a 9 or a 6? Wait.
Just let me do my thing.
So there should be, if it's a 9, there should be a little dot at the bottom of it.
Oh, at the. Okay.
The
it was a
dot.
6.
The dot tells you.
Not a 9.
Okay. All right. So you're not having
So
any luck
9.
coaxing this mammoth either, but that's fine because it can see a big ass avocado bush magically appear in front of it, and that gets it trudging ahead and forward. So you throw yourselves onto the sled,
Nice.
and actually, Boy's never been in this position before. He'll hop on the sled too, and let the mammoth pull you off.
Okay.
What's up? Living the high
All
life,
right.
boy. First
Boyd
class.
is enjoying it.
Yes.
Like
Yes,
for once
absolutely.
he's being dragged instead of like dragging people. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And so you're pulled out of town across the deep snow toward the mountain of Kelvin's Cairn, which is a big, lumpy sort of mountain in the middle of Icewind Dale. And it attracts a lot of mountain climbers, but it also has claimed more than its fair share of souls over the years. It's a dangerous, dangerous endeavor to try to climb this mountain without a guide. So, Boy, at any time where it seems like you're not sure where to go, Boy will hop off the sled and just kind of run ahead of the mammoth to sort of help guide you. And who's actually going to try to steer the sled, the mammoth? Is that going to be Melancholia?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, so you're at the reins. You're at the reins. As you start to
I
go
actually
up,
learned in real life, I learned how to drive a sled with reindeer, so I could do that with.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know
Years ago,
anybody
in
who has
Siberia.
ever done that.
Yeah, me in Siberia for a movie years
amazing.
ago.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you might pass actually by a couple reindeer on your way to the mountain, but they sort of keep their distance. They're foraging through the snow for food. As you make your way up the mountain and it starts to get really sort of icy and slippery, the sled becomes more of a detriment than a help because you're on a slope and the sled is not so good on slopes. Do you want to keep it or abandon it?
I think we're gonna get kind of we're gonna have to abandon it, right?
It's a
Do I
choice.
Can you
need
ask the
to,
dog
like,
sort of
use
how
a
much
spell or
further it
something?
is, Melancholia? Can you?
Yeah, Boyd. When are we gonna be at Garrett's, you think?
You cast the spell
You have
again
an
so you can
ETA.
speak. You can't speak with animals again. And Boyd tells you that it can smell Garrett up the mountain. Maybe at the pace you're going, it might take like another hour.
Oh yeah, we could walk from here.
But can I use a spell, or like, it's bad to like use too many spells?
Oh no, if you have the
I know
spells,
that I
you can
can,
use them.
I can cause vines to sprout from the ground. What about like using that so it goes faster? No, it doesn't work.
No,
we
because
use the
they're in,
sprout. I make it sprout, and then it just goes to Garrett quicker. No, like
no, it doesn't,
you know,
go,
like
it doesn't go that far. It doesn't go that far. It's more like it's the vines crawl up and then they kind of wrap around things to hold them in place. So they're really about entangling creatures.
Could you use that to hold the sled in place?
Yes,
But then it would
Oh, so I can like make.
but then it'll be stuck.
Like a rope. Oh, it's stuck. Oh, don't do that. That was a terrible idea.
So what do we do, guys? We just walk? Can we just walk?
I think we can walk.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. It's a nice scenery, like
Yes.
nice one.
And
It's not
the
that
sled,
far.
the-
It's not that far.
No, and the sled has some poles that you can basically take and use those to guide your way up the mountain and also check the snow ahead of you to make sure you're not falling into some sort of horrible crevice.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I would like everybody.
Kenny Kaboom wanted to work out too, so I think it's a good workout, right?
Yeah, well,
Use the steps.
you know who's really disappointed right now is the mammoth because it hasn't gotten a single avocado out of all of this.
Oh.
Can I cast? What is I have this spell. What is it? It's called prestidigitation. Can't I make something taste like? I'm gonna pick up a little just because I do feel for the elephant. I mean, I understand large creatures with not much intelligence. I have a kinship with them, so I'm gonna pick up just a mound of snow and I'm gonna put it in his mouth and cast prestidigitation, and it tastes like the most lovely avocado he's ever eaten in his whole life.
That is the best use of that spell I've ever seen. So yes, you hand the mammoth a snow avocado and to trick it into thinking it's the real thing. It is now the happiest mammoth on Earth.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Bring some joy.
Yeah. So you uncouple your mammoth from the harness, and the mammoth and the dog accompany you up the hillside. Once you get up into the mountains, I would like all of you to roll a d20 and add to that your perception bonus. Now, that's one of your skills. For you, Melancholia, that's going to be a plus. Perception is a skill. You're +2, Melancholia, on your roll.
That sucks. Okay.
Malvery's perception skill is +1.
Okay.
And
17 plus 1 for me, 18.
ooh, nice.
Yeah, 17 plus 2. 15.
Nice.
So what are you rolling the dice or no?
Yeah, everybody
Yes.
is rolling their dice.
Mine is
Which
mine
dice?
is
This one.
16 minus 2.
That's the one. Yeah.
So it's 14.
All right.
I rolled
So-
a 17.
You rolled a 17?
Yes.
And so You add 1 because you got a +1 bonus to your perception, so you get an 18 total. You all rolled really well on this, which means you can all see on a ledge up ahead a mountain goat looking down on you. It's about 30 feet away and obscured by blowing
Another
snow.
animal for me, guys.
Yes, but your perceptions are also high enough, your perception scores are high enough that you can see it is not looking at you like some dumb beast, but with an intelligence that you would not expect to see in the eyes of a creature such as this. And who rolled the 19? Was that you, Kenny?
No, it's Brandon. It was Pam.
I did 17 plus 2, 19.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry, it was Melancholia.
All right. Melancholia, you can also see in that stare a hint of evil malevolence.
Ooh.
Evil?
Good thing
Oh my
our
god.
reception is so good, guys.
Can I can convince an animal that I mean no harm. So should I use that, or
You
it
could.
doesn't even work?
You could try. It certainly looks like an animal.
But you think
when
it's
you-
not an animal. You think.
Yeah. When you
But
do,
I also have this
Sure.
like I can disguise. I have this costume. I can like change shape. Should I do that?
No, do the
You
thing
could.
where you mean no harm to the animal. Do that thing.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I mean no
Okay.
harm.
it says to you.
Also,
in
I
a-
can play some music. No. Okay.
Wait.
you can cast the spell. You can play your lyre while you're casting the spell, and sing a little song about how you mean no harm, and then it says to you,
In French.
"Go
Ne
back,
veux pas te
Go
faire de
back.
mal.
go back."
Petit
Go
chèvre de la montagne.
Guys, Melancholia, relax. We got a gnarly goat who's like warning us. He doesn't want us to come up there. What are we gonna do about
This
that?
is our mountain. Go back, go back.
Our mount? Whoa.
Mais je suis ton ami. Palianor, you have an instrument, so you can join in and just play music with me. Petit chèvre.
Gonna do the lute.
No, I'm not. No, because we could have
know
done this
that
at the
it's time
clam
for
in
me to
warmth and
go.
nice, and now we're out on a mountainside because of you, Melancholia.
Go is happy.
I am not gonna have like a jam session about we're either gonna find some dragon or we're heading back to the clam. I am not gonna just hang out here and play the lute.
I don't know if it's the beer, but I am loving her singing.
Petite chèvre,
The
aide-nous
little goat.
pour trouver Gareth. Can I speak to the goat again? Okay, where is Gareth? Are you Gareth?
Yeah, all of you can hear the goat talking in what appears to be human voice. And the goat just says, "Garrett's dead."
What? Oh,
So what do we do now?
the animal.
I mean,
Oh no!
"There's nothing for you here. Nothing. Go back."
Well, actually, I heard that there was some dragons that I was pretty interested in. If you don't mind me taking a look.
"There are no dragons here. This is our mountain. Our mountain. Go back."
How did Garrett die?
clearly, where's Gareth's body? Like, we got to check this out. We got friends. This guy Vernon wants to know where he is. We'd like to give him a good burial. Just take us to Gareth's body, please.
Yeah.
Go.
Eleanor, you're also saying something?
Does
I was asking
he want
where-
some money, maybe?
How did Garrett die?
He died by his own folly, as you will, if you do not turn back. At this point in time, you
Okay,
can see past that goat,
Threatening us.
up on even higher ledges, you can see two more goats, but they're keeping their distance. They're about 30 feet away. "You want Garrett? He's gone. Leave him to the mountain.
Certainly a mystery. Do we care to solve this mystery for the people in the village?
I mean, I'm not going to go back to Vernon and be like, we left the mountain because a couple of goats told us to go there. So I'm not going to be that guy. I was promised fame and like being beloved for killing dragons, and now you're telling me I got to crawl back with my tail between my legs and say, yeah, these goats intimidated us. No way. Let's go for the goats.
Yeah, no, I think
I head up right to those goats with my fingers starting to cast a burning hand spell. Just like starting this thing, like just to show them, like, hey, what's up? It's Johnny Flamethrower, boys. You ready for some of this?
When you start to spew flame, the goat kind of recoils and says, "This will not." Thank you. I'll steal that one. Bad idea.
that was a good bad joke.
I like the goated joke personally. That was undervalued.
I keep milking for more.
And but you startle it enough that it darts off with its two companions. They sort of run further up the mountain.
Oh, damn
Is
it.
that an actual goat sound? What is that?
Well, that's my puppy's toy. She's joining in a little bit. Oh my god. No, you can't be
That's
in
awesome.
it. Come on. Come on, Nat. I'm sorry, no one else can look after her, so she has to be here.
Perfect.
Maybe that's the magic toy we need to scare the goats away.
Well, the magic fire was certainly enough to get the goats to trundle off up the mountainside ahead of you.
Are we like following them? Are we like following the little like traces in the snow of the goats, or?
They were sort of you know how mountain goats can climb almost near vertical surfaces because they're so good at climbing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So these ones are basically they're clinging to the mountainside and skirting their way up. There's no way that you could follow them up their path. You'll have to take your own.
Oh my god. Okay.
So is our path where Boy still is leading us to Garrett? There's still a path that way? I mean, I say we continue on that way, you guys. Are we cool with that?
Okay.
Okay.
Boy.
Then as you continue on and you go for about a half hour, the wind up here tears through your cloaks and your furs and tries to rip you back down the mountain just by its sheer force. But you fight against it and continue to make your way up. And then you come to a point where you hear a sound, but it sounds really far away. And it's and these goats that you encountered before, you can't see them, but you can hear them way up the mountain. And then suddenly there is a crack that is so loud, you could probably hear it all the way back to town, and you begin to hear the trundling of a large mass of snow, an avalanche, begin to tumble down the mountainside on top of you.
Oh, it's force majeure.
We are now entering a phase of the D&D game that we like to call initiative. And it determines the order in which things happen. And for that, I'm going to need everybody to roll their D20, or that's my D12, my D20, and add your dexterity modifier. Now, dexterity is one of your abilities at the top of your character sheet. You've got strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Your dexterity bonus tells you what to add or subtract from your roll.
Fuck. I have 0.
You have 0, so you add nothing to
No,
your
I have 10.
10.
I
All right.
No, I have 10, but it says plus 0.
So you're also 10. So you add
So
nothing.
I'm 18.
7.
Okay, 7 for
No,
Kenny and
I
8.
didn't roll the dice.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
roll the dice, but
Okay.
It's only a modifier if it has a plus by it.
it's 3.
3. Okay.
I rolled the dice
so,
and it's 3, so I don't know what is my dexterity.
So your dexterity is plus 0, so you add nothing to the roll. So that means that we've got Malvery on 18, We've got Palinor on 10, we've got Kenny on 7, and Melancholia on 3. And that's the order in which you'll be taking your actions. I'm going to assume, Melancholia, that your mammoth acts on the same time you do. So when the avalanche begins, Malvery, what do you do?
Do you think maybe I could try and melt it with my fire?
You believe you could try to melt part of it, but it's not until it gets so close to you that you'd practically be swallowed up by it.
That's very true. So, what do I do? I don't know.
That's a very good question. So you have abilities that you can do. You can also you could try to find cover. You could try to move farther up the mountain, farther down the mountain. You could try to rig some kind of rope to tie yourself to something or to a friend. There's all kinds of possibilities.
Okay, I'm going to rig a rope and I'm going to tie myself to Melancholia because she might be able to use her vines for something, and safety in numbers. And also, I'm such a fan of her singing that I want to be near her.
All right. And Melancholia, are you totally cool with Malvery tying herself to you with rope?
Oh, yeah, she's my buddy.
Okay.
No, it's not me to,
Correct. It's not your turn yet.
Okay.
But you should, until it's your turn, give some thought to what you might do and how you might want your mammoth to behave.
Yeah, you've got some extra baggage now.
Yeah. Palinor. Palinor, what do you do when you see Malvery start to tie herself off to Melancholia?
Well, I think that's an interesting idea. Though it would be great if we could tie that rope to something that won't be moved as easily. Can I do a perception check to see if there's a rock outcropping that a rope can be attached to?
You don't even have to make a check. You can see that there are rocky outcroppings around you.
Okay, so I tie a rope to myself, this extension rope, and make like a lasso and throw it over a spire of rock and say, everybody grab hold.
Done. And getting out the rope, tying it off and throwing it will pretty much be your whole action, which will bring us to Kenny.
Okay. As I've said before, Kenny is not very intelligent, but he's very confident. Aww. And he does have a spell called Maximilian's Earthen Grasp. And what that does, I think, is it like a big old hand comes out of the earth and like crushes you. And I think that Kenny feels like if he can get close enough and we can all get together and he casts this spell, it's gonna this hand is gonna come up out of the earth and just grip us all and be really painful and hurt us a lot, but the avalanche will go right over us as we're stuck inside this hand. So he's going to run towards his pals here and cast that spell.
Excellent. And exactly what you described happened. This big, massive earthen hand erupts from the ground and begins to just descend upon you with its fingers outstretched and pushing you down into the ground. Now you can probably control the spell to an extent that it actually doesn't cause any physical harm if you don't want it to.
Yes, amazing, of course.
You are a master.
Just control.
Yes. Now, next up is Melancholia.
Yeah, but I mean, you basically saved us, right? So I don't need to use my spell of the vines, or should I ask Gilly to help us, the mammoth? Maybe he can blow some air to the mountain, to the snow coming towards us, or maybe he can just protect us because he's bigger. You know, we can hide behind him.
Yeah, he makes for a really good body shield because he's, stocky. He's got thick fur, and yes, and if you ask him to sit on anything, it's going to be very hard for that to move. But right now, even your mammoth is sort of pressed underneath the weight of this magical hand, and Pelinor's got his arm wrapped around this rope, taut, so that even if the hand gives way, at least you have this rope as a backup to keep yourself from being torn down the mountainside. And so you're just going to basically not cast any spells, or just sort of wait it out.
Okay. No, and also we can he's very hairy and his hair is very solid and strong, so we can really grab the hair just like a rope too. So he can grab the rope with his trump, and we grab the hair and the legs and everything. So he's very handy too, just in case we need him.
Outstanding. Okay, so you waited out, and in about 12 seconds later, the deafening roar of all this ice and snow tumbling down the mountainside just overwhelms you. You can't even hear each other. And, even if you just start screaming at each other, it's completely drowned out by the noise. And then suddenly it washes over you, it washes over the hand, and you just feel tons and tons and tons of this stuff pouring down on top of you. The hand deflecting most of it, but I'm going to need Palinor to make a strength athletics check, because it's the rope that is. Now, I'm going to give you what's called advantage on this roll because of the Kenny's magic hand. What that means is advantage is a game mechanic in Dungeons and Dragons that comes up situationally. If a circumstance means that you would have an easier time accomplishing something, you can have advantage on the roll, which means you roll two dice, 2 20s, and take the better result.
Right. And I have a +4 athletics too.
Yes. So.
Ooh, I got a.
Oops.
Okay, I got 11 and a 5.
Okay, and did you add 4 to that already?
No, so that's a 9 and a 15.
Okay, 15 is the magic number. So you rolled high enough to basically hold on and basically keep all your friends from being pushed out from underneath this magical hand and cast down the mountainside. All of you take some damage from the snow, but it's not nearly as bad as it would have been otherwise. On your character sheet, you'll see that you've got something called hit points. That is a measure of your health. It should be near the top of your character. You have current hit points and then max hit points. Your current hit points are now all going to go down by 5. You took 5 points of damage from the ice and snow.
Guys, I have something that is supposed to help too. Can we use the Olisuba leaf? These dried leaves of the Olisuba tree, when steeped, make a tea. I'm not sure I can make a tea right now, to help a body recover from strenuous activity.
Yeah, this is something you probably do afterward. Once the snow has settled, you can brew some tea.
Okay, I'll make a tea after, and it's gonna bring us some strength back, because it's really tiring.
Yeah. Yes. So once the avalanche is the worst of it is passed over you, you find yourselves buried under snow. Now the hand is creating this kind of igloo effect where you've got an air pocket, but then the hand disappears and suddenly you're in a buried cocoon of snow.
Okay, we're gonna dig ourselves out. Melt our way out, I guess.
What? Yeah, I can use my fire.
Yeah, go for it. Come on.
Finally. So, all right, here I go. But remember, I've got phobia of fire, also with the ability, so this will be scary for me. So I'm gonna need some words of encouragement.
Anyway,
hey, we're with you. You're great.
Oh, you can't even hear me. Oh, okay.
Well.
Right, here I go. Ah!
cone of fire out at this, and you burn a hole through the ice into the outdoors once again, big enough that you could crawl out of.
Yes.
That was awful.
Yes.
Let's go.
Well done.
Thank you.
Great. Should I use my vines now or no? Like to just like pop out of the,
You're probably
No?
good at this point. You can just crawl out and dig out your kettle and start. You'll need some fire. You'll need some fire to heat the tea, though.
Okay, Karen.
I'm still tethered to you.
Can you make hot water, please? Like so we can drink.
Well, actually,
Create a bonfire for
First,
you.
guys, we gotta crawl
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna head
Yeah.
out, make sure everything's cool, and then I do that, and I see that there's snow everywhere, but everyone is safe to come out of our snow hole.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay,
So
coming out.
Boy will crawl out of the snow hole as well. The mammoth will just kind of stand up and push a bunch of snow off its back, creating an even bigger hole.
Great.
Yeah, so did Kenny want to create a bonfire so you could heat up some post?
Yeah, I was
avalanche
thinking about
tea?
that, but I was also like, I think we just gotta get somewhere. Let's say I don't want to hang out on the side of this mountain that's unstable. I think let's just try to get there, and when we're in some sort of safer place, I promise I'll make that bonfire and we'll do some tea. But right now, I kind of just want to get off this mountain.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that cool, Melancholia?
Good point.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. As you advance up the mountain, you don't see the goats anymore. It looks like they've done their worst. They did their try. You come to a point around sort of you're kind of walking along an icy ledge, and when you get to the end of it, and the mountainside opens up a bit more, you can see lying under a rocky outcropping is a figure bundled up in heavy furs. You would guess, based on the way they're sort of slouched under there, that they're wounded. And it appears to be, although it's hard to tell, a human. And the reason it's hard to tell is the figure is so bundled up, you can't make out any features.
Is it Brandon? Maybe it's Brandon.
Garrett.
Brandon?
Garrett.
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 Yeah.
Who's Brandon? Oh, you're
Garrett, you're
Brandon. I'm sorry. Actual name. It's the real life Brandon.
Maybe we're going like Game of Thrones, like Bran. It's like Bran wrapped up.
Yeah, very meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see this wounded figure under a rocky outcropping.
Yeah, I'm just gonna yell. Garrett.
Yeah.
Is that
As
you,
you
buddy?
yell-
You?
As you yell out, the dog goes charging over to it, and you can see that when the dog starts licking the figure sort of regains consciousness.
Ooh, run up
my
there.
God, did we
run
find
up there.
Garrett?
Yeah.
And let's.
When you-
I'm gonna just run up there. Garrett's up here. Let's create a bonfire. Let's chill out. Let's figure this whole situation out. I'm gonna run up there and create
Let's make
bonfire.
some tea.
Okay. Yes, a bonfire erupts magically, begins to crackle and fill the area with warmth. You can see Garrett looks pretty badly wounded and mauled, like he was attacked by something. There are great tears in his winter gear, and he's calling out to someone who you don't know who it is, but then he does recognize Boy. You think that he's in some sort of fever. And
Ooh.
you pull his scarf down a little bit. You can see his face. He's got a beard that's sort of filled out, but he's not an old man. He's probably in his late 20s, early 30s.
I'm gonna say, Gareth, man, it's Kenny. Vernon sent us. You know Vernon from the Clam.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, do you think he has
How you
corona?
doing, buddy?
I mean,
Are you
let's be
okay?
careful.
Did the goats do this? Did the goats do this? Gareth, what's up?
We were attacked by a dragon, but not a big one. But it caught us by surprise. There was some sort of storm and we couldn't see, and I got disoriented, and I told the others to go back down the mountain and hide, but I don't know what happened to them.
Okay.
God damn those dragons. They're at it again.
I tried to fight off the dragon myself.
What?
Never a good idea.
Was it what? Was it a white one?
It was about the size of a horse with wings, but he wasn't alone. I saw, in the midst of all the chaos, the mad hermit of Kelvin's cairn. I thought he was a myth.
No way.
I thought he was a myth. But there he was in the snow, laughing as I was being torn by the dragon.
What a jerk. Gareth.
Yeah, laughing. What a sadist.
His long white beard blowing in the snow.
Oh God! And what? What about the goats, Gareth? What do the goats have to do with all of this? Do you have any idea?
There are rumors that the Mad Hermit is a druid who can awaken in beasts' consciousness, turn them malevolent.
Ooh.
Oh damn!
He was a myth.
Oh no!
But I saw him.
Wow. Well, where'd he go, Gareth? Did you see where he ran off to?
I fought the dragon as long as I could. Then I fell, tumbling down the mountainside. I lost all orientation. I don't know what became of them. We came up the mountain in search of sport. The hunters I was with said that they had fought dragons before. That was a lie. They were unskilled. They were showing off. Had I known, I never would have brought them up here. They say the Mad Hermit lives in a cave somewhere up the mountainside. But I thought it was only rumor. No one, I thought, could live up here.
I just want to scan like what we can see on the mountainside. Do we see any sort of outcroppings or cliffs or caves or anything like that?
You can see the mountain go up quite a fair distance. You're kind of climbing one of the spurs of Kelvin's cairn, but the blowing snow reduces visibility to a few hundred feet. So he says that he tumbled down the mountain at least 100 feet, and you can see the wounds. He's got a dislocated shoulder. One of his arms is broken from where he hit a rock tumbling down. He's also got. Sorry, my dog is a vigilant sentry, scaring away trucks and other dogs.
Aww.
Yeah, he's very good, and loud. That's so you can't see anything, but Garrett can tell you that where you're looking at is kind of the course that they took up the mountain.
So the question is, do we investigate?
Okay.
The hermit, we've come all this way.
Right, yeah. Now, Garrett doesn't look like he's in any condition right now to go to do anything but maybe hobble down the mountain. You do have some healing reserves.
Yeah, are we able to? I have cure wounds and I have lesser restoration, but he's not poisoned or paralyzed necessarily.
Correct, yeah, he's just got wounds.
I could
What do I have?
cure wounds, but I wonder if that's the best, or if I should just do divine, not divine sense, lay on hands.
Yeah, you've got, as a paladin, you've got access to two kinds of healing. You've got your own paladin lay on hands, where you just sort of touch somebody and then magical energy heals their damage. And then you've got a spell that kind of does the same thing, but you can do it multiple times.
Lay on hands, I can choose how much I want to heal them, though. Correct.
Correct.
So
yes.
it's more of a targeted approach.
Yes.
Okay. Can I do some kind of investigation to see how much healing he needs to?
Sorry, I muted myself.
Be able to help us?
To figure that out, you can make what's called a medicine check. Medicine is one of your skills. Just make that. You have a medicine bonus. Add it to your roll.
Okay. 7 plus a 1, so 8.
You're not. You know he's pretty hurt, but you don't have a real sense of how many hit points you need to give him.
Okay, so let's just go. I'm gonna lay on hands for let's go. He's pretty bad. For 8.
That that heals him pretty well. You see his shoulder just sort of magically fixes itself. His broken arm seems to mend, and he's able to stretch it out and tighten his hand in a fist, and he's able to pull himself up to his feet.
All right.
Oh, well done.
Great.
He says, if you're going to go up the mountain, he'll point to where you need to go. He thinks it might be better off if he returns to town with Boy.
With boys? Okay.
Please, please direct us and tell us anything else we need to know before we journey onward.
He told you that he already mentioned that the Mad Hermit was sort of this old guy with a long white beard. He says that he was dressed all in white, and he thinks that it's possible that in order to survive up here, this evil druid figure must have made some sort of pact with some entity of cold or some god of some horrible god of winter's wrath or winter's fury. He clearly didn't want anybody learning his secrets, this old hermit, and the dragon was clearly on his side.
Oh. But are we going to go up there?
Yeah, of course. We got to head up the mountain. I mean, I kind of want to take Gareth with us, though. I really don't want Gareth to go back with Boy. I kind of feel like we could use another party member. Can I use a charm person on Gareth just to make him come with us, actually? Him and Boy, make him want to come with us?
Yeah, you can cast the spell, and he gets a saving throw to try to resist, but I just lost my die. I just threw my die. He fails the saving throw, which means he is very friendly and well disposed toward you. So if you ask him kindly, he says, "Yeah, I think I can do that." With the healing,
yeah,
my
Gareth,
arm's
we need
feeling
you,
better.
Buddy. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's
do it.
Yeah, you look good, man. You look good. Let's go.
Yeah, vengeance.
Yes, vengeance.
Yes.
And dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready?
And
Boy?
he can ride Gilly too, so,
Yeah. You don't look like that.
He can ride my mammoth, so it's not going to be too tiring for him.
Yeah, he says he's never actually ridden a baby mammoth before and would love to have that experience to take back to his husband.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Okay, so he will pull himself up onto the mammoth and sit up there, and actually it gives him a nice vantage point, and he will lead the mammoth on like he has ridden this thing 100 times.
All right.
And so guided up the mountain some ways, you don't encounter any other threats, although the journey is still quite long. You reach this place where you can see a gaping icy cave with giant icicles hanging down from the mouth of it like white teeth.
Oof.
We're sure it's not a dragon's mouth?
It sort of looks like the mouth of a dragon's cave to you. Certainly the dragon would have no trouble fitting in this wide, gaping orifice.
Oh, there's some dragons in the house.
And actually, as you start to look around, you can see what appears to be something sticking out of the snow that looks like it might be a dragon's scale.
That's a scale if I ever saw one.
You pull it out, you look at it, and you're like, yeah, it's not very big.
Hell yeah.
It's only about that big around.
This is a small scale.
But it's white and bluish, with a bluish tinge. You think it definitely came from a white dragon.
Oh, definitely. I study these things. That's from a white dragon, one of the rarest forms of white dragon. I want these dragons in my dungeon.
That's cool. Yeah, let's go. Can I grab that scale, actually, though? That thing helps. I can use that in a spell. You mind if I grab that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Take it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Just talk among yourselves briefly here. I have to get a new recharger before my laptop dies. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay.
So are we talking as ourselves or in character?
You
I can talk about dragons all day.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Maybe it's time
Tell us
for a
about this
jam
weird
session,
dragon. I want to hear more about this weird dragon imprisoning self-hatred that you have.
Yeah, so it's funny, like you would look at me and think like, oh, you'd be sympathetic towards dragons because you are part dragon. But I'm like, no, I deny that side of myself and I will imprison all of them. But guys, I've got to tell you a secret. I've been starting to feel a little guilty about putting them in the dungeons. But don't tell any of my colleagues because it's like how I make my living. But maybe one day I might free them all.
Well, we're sort of on this mission now to like hunt this nasty dragon and this mad hermit guy, right? But you think if push comes to shove, we'd just take out the hermit and leave the dragon alone? I mean, are you having like a bleeding heart for dragons now?
No, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in the dungeon to go through, all the things that I should be doing with the dragons for my job. But I'm right on the verge, guys, of freeing all of them within the dungeon.
Revolt.
Maybe one day. Not yet.
Coming out of the... Sorry, I was going to say, there is a gust of cold wind that blows out of this tunnel, like a cold breath. And it carries with it the stench of death as it just blows past you. And some snow and ice gets caught up in too, so it actually looks like for a moment the cave itself was breathing.
Like the cave is breathing?
So, who's first?
I will go first. This is my territory. Follow me.
So, Pellinor and Malvery are sort of vying for the front position here, walking up, striding together toward the mouth of this great cave. And you enter it, and you can see that the icicles on the ceiling of this cave go back quite a ways, like layers and layers and layers of these icy teeth looming above you as you descend into the throat of this cave. And what are the rest of you doing?
I have this spell called Mage Hand. And if I cast it up against these icicles, if I touch it with that hand thing, can I feel what they're made of or anything? Can I like sensory?
So a mage hand is a disembodied, ghostly, magical hand that you can use to grab things from a distance, but you don't get any sensory information from it. It is completely detached from you. But you could use it to...
Can I just go cast that mage hand and go break one? Yeah. Can I break one just to make sure they are just icicles?
Yeah, you snap an icicle off. It makes this kind of surprisingly loud crack noise that kind of echoes in the mouth of the tunnel. But then you can basically have the hand bring it to you.
Okay.
Or drop it.
I do that. Yeah, I have the hand bring it back to me and I grab it.
Yeah, it's cold. It's just
is
cold
it just
ice.
made of ice or it's just cold ice? Okay. So it's just
So it's not a real dragon. We're not going inside the dragon.
You
think by having an icicle.
Exactly. You can verify that this is just a cave that kind of looks like a dragon's mouth, but isn't really. When you descend in about 30 feet, the cave opens up on the inside, forming this fairly large cyst or chamber with more icicles hanging from the roof. There is a tunnel on the far side of this chamber that continues on deeper into the mountain. But between you and it, the floor just falls away into a great gaping chasm. And there is a sheet of ice that has been made across it to create an icy floor where none existed previously. So one could enter this cavern by walking out onto this icy floor, but underneath it, you just see a chasm.
Oh, God.
What?
Like a giant hole or pit underneath this icy floor. So if to continue up,
the floor?
So
Is it
how
like a
thick
bridge
is it?
or like a is it like a bridge or like a?
Can I use the vines, guys?
The whole floor of the
The
cave.
vines.
So right now, only
Can I use the
Malvery,
vines?
only Malvery and Pellinor are far enough into the cave that you can see this. That you enter this chamber, the floor of which is just a sheet of ice, like a rink, covering the whole floor. But underneath the rink, it's just a pit. And there's one more. The cave then continues on at the back.
Can we test? Can Mallory and I test the depth, the thickness of this ice?
Yeah, absolutely. How do you want to do that? Just with like poking it with poles or stepping out onto it?
I'm gonna poke it first with my sword, my long sword.
When you poke it with your longsword, it seems pretty firm and tough. Like you think this ice floor must be at least 4 to 6 inches thick.
Well, I don't know how else we could test if it's going to hold us all the way through without walking across it.
I mean, we could send
So
the
imagine we go back out and tell everybody else to come in and check it out.
Yeah, Garrett will dismount from the mammoth and just sort of help lead it down inside. Boy stays very close to Garrett.
Can we sacrifice Garrett?
I like how quick you are to do that. Your new friend. Bye, Garrett.
Okay, if one person should die, who should it be? Kidding. No, that's not nice.
I feel we should probably leave the woolly mammoth. Maybe not have him traverse the ice. Maybe.
Or like maybe we can use his trunk.
Heavier.
No. Karen is frozen. Can you see Karen is frozen?
Oh,
She's just texting me that her power
Not in the
her
cave.
power just went out.
No. We lost her. She
said
stepped
her
out onto the
power-
ice.
Her power just went out.
Oh no. Well, we shall see. We shall wait and see what her power situation is. Let's stay in touch with her. Is it her whole? Do you know if it's her whole house, or it's just like the power to the computer, or?
How? I'm just
Going AFK for 30 seconds, everyone, while we figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh.
She says the whole house.
All right.
Shit.
All right.
Okay, so maybe it's time for a jam session, guys.
Let's just wait a couple minutes.
It's like an intermission, you know. It's like when you're like you have advertisings and stuff like that.
Yeah, nothing we can do about it if the power goes out.
It's gonna come back. Yeah. So, am I supposed to make a decision right now, or?
Well, we can certainly talk about options. You're making your way into the cave, so you'll be able to sort of look around and see the same thing that the others did. It's like, oh, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That icy floor looks like it could support a fair amount of weight. Doesn't look like it's so thin it might just, break instantly.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I was a goat and I could like climb on the sides of the cavern, you know?
Ah, but you're a druid, which means you have something called wild shape, which means you could turn into a goat.
Let's do that. I'm gonna turn into a goat so I can like access the other side of the,
Yeah, you could sort of kind of walk up the rough walls and avoid the floor entirely. So that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Talking about avoiding the floor entirely somehow?
Yeah, so the druid, Melancholia, can wild shape into a goat.
Oh, yeah.
Which means they can use the mad goat climbing skills. All right, well, we will hope that Karen can rejoin us. If not, we're pretty close to the end. We're about 15 minutes away, so it was a good run for Malvery. It was a good run. Yeah. But hopefully her power comes back on and she's able to rejoin.
Well, we got to see what's in the rest of that cave, right?
Yeah. So there's
this open floor,
mm-hmm.
and then there's another cave in back, right? Hey, Melancholy,
Yeah.
why don't you goat your way around to the other cave and see if you can bait whatever's inside it out onto this ice rink of ours. Maybe that'd be the way.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
All right.
So I'm climbing. And then what's happening? What do I encounter?
You goat your way across to the far side of the cave. There's a short tunnel that leads into another cave, and you can see there is a white dragon there, asleep, sleeping soundly.
Okay. So, what do I do? Is he going to attack me?
If it wakes, it doesn't. You know enough about dragons to know they're fierce predators, and white dragons are indiscriminate hunters. They love the flesh, warm flesh.
So you know that I have a bag of sand, and I've been wanting to use it to blind someone, like in Bloodsport. We talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
So I'm gonna just go really slowly next to his eyes. I'm gonna wake him up. Wake up! And then when he wakes up, sand in his eye. So he's blind and he can't.
That's a really good plan. You'll have to do that. You'll have to change from goat form back into your normal form to do that, because you need, to be able to blow with hands and to hold the sand. But you turn back into your tiefling form. You sneak up to the dragon. You shout at it. It wakes up. You blow into its face this sand. I'm going to make a saving throw for the dragon. I'm going to give it disadvantage because it was not expecting to wake up and get sand in its eyes. All right.
Nor has it ever seen sand because it's on a snowy mountain.
Yes. The rest of you can hear the dragon roar in fury as sand is blown into its eyes. What do you do then?
Pale, listen. We got to figure out something. We didn't really talk about the plan before.
No,
we sent the druid in there. We should have. I blame myself, but we really should have talked. I guess the idea that I was thinking is that, we use this floor to our advantage, right? And we melt it and kind of let whatever's dropped down there. But then I didn't think, dragons do have wings. So I don't know. Any ideas? Like what is? You got any ideas here?
Well, I missed. So sorry, I missed a bit where the goat Melancholia went to where the dragon is. Can we see what's happening? Do we have knowledge of what's happening? We only hear.
But you can hear it.
She went across.
We hear a dragon roar.
Okay.
Yeah, so, she kind of skirted the ice by running up along the rough walls, and then made it to the other side. Went deeper into the dragon's lair, has completely aggravated it, and now you can hear the dragon waking up.
Well, I mean, I think the only real option is for her to drag the dragon out, being bait. And we could melt the floor as it comes out, which would surprise it possibly. If you could melt it and then freeze it, do you have any freezing spells? Oh, we're just got to fight it in this big. All right, let's do that. I just want. Oh, you're back.
Oh my God, she's back.
We can't hear you. You're silent.
What? Why is she in Brandon's square?
That's so weird. It's a plot. She's taking over all of our squares.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll figure this out.
Why is it on me? Do you have to do something?
So for those who are actually tuned in, and Brandon, are you still with us?
Brandon? Oh.
Okay. All right, let's. Oh, no worries. We're going to take just a quick break to make sure that Karen is everything's working there. So 2 minutes.
Karen is not Brandon.
Okay.
2 minutes. 2-minute break.
26% of our population lives in poverty. Of the 10 largest cities in the United States, we have the highest poverty rate. These are tremendous, tremendous challenges that we face here. And we are committed to change that trajectory. Without the support of Red Nose Day, we wouldn't be here. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homeless and runaway young people wouldn't have a place to turn.
So she came to us probably a month or two ago. We have a limited number of beds for moms with children, and initially she didn't get one of those beds.
Before I came here, I was homeless, basically. I didn't have nowhere to go. I was going from shelter to shelter. I started off in West Philly in a women's shelter. So when I came downtown and they seen what I was going through, because they seen me coming in there, in and out, they told me about the Covenant House.
So at Covenant House, Pennsylvania, we serve runaway, homeless, and trafficked youth. But every one of these young people has a couple things in common. One is that they are filled with potential.
We believe pretty strongly that the way to help youth overcome a traumatic past is to develop relationships with them that are supportive and that are safe.
I had got my stuff stolen when I went to my first shelter, and it was hard for me because I didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't know what to do. They just told me to leave. When I came here, it was like they gave me steps on what to do.
Like, we have to invest and support these young people. If we don't catch them now, if we don't serve them now, this is a generation of young people who are lost to the streets, and that's not okay. This year, with the support of Red Nose Day, Covenant House will serve 7,500 young people in 24 cities.
Coronavirus has had an impact on us all in some way. And while children have not been the face of this pandemic, it's the kids already struggling in poverty who could suffer the most. Kids who are missing out on meals because their families can't put food on the table. Kids who can't easily access healthcare or medicines. And further away, children who don't have clean water, or those who are already on the brink of serious hunger. But with your support, we can help. The money you give to Red Nose Day tonight means healthcare, clean water, medicine, and food gets to kids in the United States and around the world. $5 can help pay for vital medical supplies for children visiting a mobile health clinic. $35 can buy 50 masks to protect health workers across the globe while they do their life-saving job. $50 can help provide at least 500 meals for kids and families right here in America. You can make a difference right now. Go to rednoseday.org. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. As we solve a few minor technical issues, let me just say thanks for tuning in. It's delightful to have you here watching our little game. If you have the chance, please make a donation to Red Nose Day. This game is our little tiny part into helping out Red Nose, help the lives of impoverished children. And that is a great cause. And I wanted to thank Karen and Pom and David and Brandon for taking time out of their day for this awesome, awesome cause and giving me such delight with their characters and their wacky antics. I don't know how this is going to resolve itself. They're kind of in a dangerous pickle right now. They've just awakened a large white dragon and blown sand in its eyes.
What have I missed?
Clearly,
I did that
clearly,
like in
Malvery, your trauma, your trauma around your relationship with dragons, you just zoned out and you just went blank for about like 10 minutes while we decided to send the druid over as a goat and see what she could find out. And she decided to go Van Damme on it and blow sand in its eyes and wake it up and sort of bring it into the next room was our idea. And now I guess we have to fight it, but I don't really know. I don't know. We just hear roaring from the other cave.
Yes.
Oh, one thing you should never do with a dragon is blow specifically sand in its eye.
Oh no!
Well, I wish you told us that about
Like that's
10
the
minutes
main.
ago.
That's actually like the main thing. Like everything else is pretty much okay, but like that one you can't do. So we're really in a bad situation now.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, while
Well,
we're
thanks for
Alright.
checking out.
while we're waiting for Brandon to rejoin, let's roll initiatives again to see what order we're going to be acting in now that the dragon's awake, alert, and really upset. So remember, it's a d20 roll, and you'll be adding your dexterity modifier, your dexterity bonus to it, if you have one. Now
I got a 14, no
14
bonus.
for Kenny.
I'm 12.
12 for Malvery. And Melancholia, your dexterity bonus is plus 0.
Yeah, so I did 13.
Okay. That's pretty good. You're all clustered together with 14, 13, and 12. And I forgot to roll for the dragon. Oh,
Brandon's back.
Brandon is back! Woo!
Yay! Oh no, he's frozen.
Sort of.
Oh shit, you're frozen. He's frozen in the cave again.
At least that picture is away of me.
There he is.
There we go.
Yeah, she's not frozen anymore.
Welcome back to the party.
Thank you.
So good to have you.
So who said, is it your birthday? I heard that. No. Yes?
Who's
Who said it was someone's birthday? No?
Not mine.
No? Am I crazy? I heard it was someone's birthday, no?
Who's got the nice birds, though?
Dragon's birthday.
I don't know where the birds are coming from.
It's the dragon's birthday, and you just delivered a druid for its present.
Oh, God.
So maybe,
Yeah,
maybe we should sing happy birthday. No? Okay.
Somebody's birthday.
In French.
So, Brandon, while you were out, or locked out, we were rolling initiative to see the order in which you guys act now that the dragon has been provoked.
Okay.
And so you'll add your dexterity bonus to the roll.
8.
8. All right.
I'm gonna have no modifier.
The dragon goes first. So after being awakened and blinded with sand, it will just snap its jaws at you, Melancholia, to try to snatch you up with its jaws. It has to roll disadvantage on its attacks because it's blind, which means when it rolls, it has to roll twice and take the lower result. And I gotta tell you, that is good news for you because its first roll was a natural 20, which would have really been painful.
Oh.
But its second roll is only a 5, which means its jaws clamp down on empty air.
Okay.
What do you do, Kenny Kaboom, when you hear the dragon's jaws snap?
Is it in the room with us, like on the ice rink?
Not
or
yet.
It's still back in the other room. It's
Yeah,
still back in that other room.
Druid
So I'm
hasn't
in the
had a
other room,
chance.
like waiting for it.
That's right.
Wow. That's
Maybe
annoying.
you
I mean,
guys
I guess
can
what I'm going to want to
attract the
try to
dragon.
do is I'm going to try to gear up because I feel like I know what's up. I can put 2 and 2 together. I'm not the brightest guy in the whatever, but I can. But I put 2 and 2 together. There's a white dragon in there, and he's coming our way. And I got some fire spells, but I want to really amp this one up. So I think for this time, maybe I'll spend like a sorcery point, and I'll add a little zhuzh to it in a certain way, and then also if I ask Pale, who's standing right next to me, if I'm like, dude, I just need you to really insult me. Like, I just need you to tell me something that you just hate about me so much that I just need you to humiliate me a little bit right now, man, just in this time. I know you got to set up for your own thing, and I know this is awkward, but just please say something horrible so that I can really power up this burning hand spell and I can just melt the crap out of this white dragon.
Listen, I don't like insulting anyone. It's against my way. But I say the most frustrating thing since we've met is that you have so many names. Your ego is so big, and you have to be known by all of these Larry Lava and Flame McFlamerson that I can't stand it anymore. Okay, I'm just gonna start calling you Dude.
Ooh, God.
Oh,
That was
Take
hard.
away a man's name.
Anonymity.
Oh, take away a man's name.
It is his
Oh
name.
my God, my heart just sinks. My heart sinks, and the minor illusion spell of charisma sort of starts to melt away. But I start to concentrate more deeply on this burning hand spell. I'm just going to take one turn to just concentrate on that spell.
All right, so your fire starts to crackle around your hands as you prepare to unleash this spell that is imbued with sadness and dismay. And that brings us to Melancholia. After the dragon snaps at you, what do you do? You know your friends are waiting for you in the other room. What would you like to do?
I mean, I would love to go back to them and, you know, but
Okay.
I'm kind of stuck, right? No?
No, you can run. You can run back to them if you like.
But can I, do you have to change back into the goat? Or I can
Well,
just
that's,
Did you turn into a dragon?
she can't turn into a dragon. She can only assume basically animal forms, and a dragon's sort of like a magical beast.
But
But
I have a disguise thing, so I can like disguise. No, again, no. I just did it once.
you can do wild shape again. You absolutely can do wild shape again and turn into a goat.
No.
Put on your disguise.
Or you could turn into another kind of creature if you want, like a owl, for instance, like a snowy owl.
Like another dragon. So I can turn into the dragon's mother. And he has
That's
like mummy
that would
issues,
be-
so
That would be too big. You can sort of do kind of like normal critters,
all the same thing.
like a wolf or a goat or an owl.
But why would I do that?
Only if you wanted to like flee back the way you came. Like you used a goat last time to make it across the ice so you wouldn't break through. You could do that again, or you could turn into like a snowy
Or
owl.
I could like change into like a bird that just like flies out from the situation, flies away from the situation. So
You
an
absolutely
owl would be kind of like a good option, right? Let's do that.
Okay, so you suddenly turn into an owl, and the rest of you see the druid fly back to you in owl form. When you get back to your friends, do you want to like perch on somebody, or you just want to sort of fly in the air?
Do I want to what?
Do you want to perch on top of somebody, or do you want to just keep flying around your friends?
Come and sit on my shoulder.
Okay, I'm gonna go on Malvera's shoulder, and I'm gonna like massage her like shoulders. Because she's very tense.
Thank you.
She
I am
starts
very
to
tense
dig
right
her-
now.
If you've seen the claws on an owl, they're really, really sharp and pointy, and so she just starts
But
to dig.
she's a dragon, so she has skills, you know. So she needs like.
Yeah, I actually need that sharp massage.
You can hear the dragon start to lumber toward you. It hasn't quite shown up yet, but it is now Malvery's turn.
It's on! Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do, right? Ready? So I'm gonna go up to the dragon and be like, hey, dragon, I'm one of you. Like, look, we're the same. Almost. I mean, I'm pretty much the same as you, like half you, we've got a lot in common. So when I'm doing that, I'm going to lure the dragon into a false sense of security, and then I'm going to try and use my rope to constrain said dragon.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so as you walk out across the ice to confront this dragon, I need you to make what's called a dexterity saving throw for me. And what that means is you have to roll a d20. And looking at your character, you have a dexterity saving throw bonus of +0. So just roll a d20.
Yeah, I'm at 8.
8. You kind of slip on the ice and land on your bum.
Oh,
And then the dragon comes out of the cave and just headfirst looks down at you sitting on your bum and kind of tilts its head.
Hi! How's it going? It's me.
Do you still want to throw your rope?
Not right now. I'm in a pretty, vulnerable position. So I'm going to buy time by chatting and slowly try to get to my feet. Can I do that?
Yeah, you absolutely can. You slowly get
But
to your feet.
also, I'm proper sweating as well because I'm nervous that there's going to be fire and I have my phobia. So there's that at play as well. So this is like a tense situation for me.
Yeah, and it's a big dragon. As you get to your feet and stabilize yourself, you are now standing on the ice with this dragon right in front of you, and it is Palenor's turn.
So we haven't engaged in battle yet? We're just kind of like...
The dragon is blind. It's like blinking its eyes trying to get the sand out of it.
So we're prepared to attack it, right? So we should be attacking it while it's in a disadvantage?
That'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah. Although I am considering casting Bless, since we're not in attack yet, to bless 3, to bless us. How long does this spell? What's the duration of this spell, though?
It will last for the rest of the game.
Okay. So I think I will do that to help us, adding a D4 to any roll, an attack roll or a saving throw.
Yeah, basically, everybody gets to roll an extra D4 and add it to their attacks.
Yeah, I think we might need that against the dragon.
Yeah. Just FYI, we've got about 2 minutes left of gameplay, so feel free to do something dynamic and dangerous.
Okay, well then let's just attack.
Oh my god!
Then I'm gonna.
Let's attack this guy.
Can I cast Thunderous Smite and attack at the same time? Is that 2 actions?
Yeah, it's basically Thunderous Smite is a bonus action you can do, and then you make your action.
Okay, I'm gonna engage the dragon, if that's possible. First casting Thunderous Smite.
Okay.
And then
go ahead and make your attack roll against the dragon.
I'm not liking this. 20-sided. Here we go. Come on. Can I roll a different one?
Actually, you have advantage because it's blind, so you can roll again and take the higher result.
What a great idea to blow standing.
Not better. That is not better.
No.
I rolled a 7. My highest was a 7.
Okay. So you stumble and slide across the ice to try to land this blow, and
what is I have a modifier. That doesn't matter.
It's not going to matter. You won't get its AC. You won't get its armor class. So you take a wild swing at it and miss, but then it is Kenny's turn. Now, Kenny, you've got supercharged fire.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna yell like, Malvery, get the hell out of the way, slip and slide out of there. I got a big old burning hand spell coming this way. Been concentrating on it. Bam! I'm just gonna let loose. I'm gonna show you a little Larry lava here. Burning hands cast on the dragon. Do you roll a d20?
So I have to make a saving throw against this. The dragon has disadvantage on the save and fails, so it takes the damage. Give me some damage.
Nice. So it's it's 46.
It's 4d6
plus whatever bonus. Plus, because it's second level burning hands. 46 plus whatever bonus we assign to that humiliation factor, which is it winds up being 14 total.
All right. Yes, there is a big explosion of fire in the cave, and as this battle rages on, and you battle this dragon with all your wits, the camera just sort of pulls back out of the cave mouth, and all we hear is the echoes of a titanic battle unfold. The dragon roaring, the sound of ice breaking, thrashing, the sound of Malvery trying to subdue the creature with her rope, the sound of Palenor swinging wildly with thunderous smites, the thunder causing icicles to fall from the ceiling and collapse all around you, and the loud braying of a mammoth calling out with a trumpet blare the sound of the party's victory. And that is where we will leave it because we are out of time.
Yeah.
Yay, we did it!
Wow.
Yes,
Great.
yes, yes.
Now.
So we have 5 minutes to chat. I'd like to first of all just say that thank you all for joining us. I know we're working in different time zones. For some of you, it's kind of getting late at night, and we really appreciate you coming out and having fun, playing some D&D. I hope you like it. I hope you play D&D again sometime. It has great power.
That was amazing. That was so fun.
Yeah.
What's fun?
I want to thank Ben and the folks at Sirenscape who have been providing special sound effects for a lot of these games, so people can get the extra element watching the games.
Wow.
Sirenscape is a company that delivers all sorts of amazing sounds that you can use in your D&D and TRPG games, and everything from dragon roars to cheering throngs in taverns. And then if you are watching the game and you can make a donation to Red Nose Day, please do. It's a great cause. Money very well spent. And that's, I think that's all that and when we finally sign off, I will have one final message to sort of lead us into the next segment. But let us just chat.
That was amazing. I didn't know really what to expect with this game, but like this is the sort of actor's dream, isn't it? You get to like play characters and stuff.
Exactly. It's like creating a movie in real time. Like we're just writing it as we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss our little group and our characters.
We should start a series.
Like run a tad.
Yeah, we should start a series.
Yeah.
Your characters have such. Right now? Yeah, nothing.
I think the avocado eating mammoth was the real star of the show tonight.
Oh yeah.
He was very helpful.
That's happened in a D&D game.
He deserves some guacamole right now. I think he deserves, a big bowl of guacamole or avocado or
Woolly guacamole.
That's the other thing about this game is you can't. There's no other game in the universe that lets you make a snow avocado and feed it to a mammoth.
Yeah.
All right. That concludes this event. We are going on break, and then after the break, come back because we will be seeing a game with the cast of Thrones. Game of Thrones, folks. D&D. Thank you, everyone. This was a blast.
Woo! Thank you
guys.
Donate.